All right. We back. We back. Sorry, fellas, I had to piss, you know? It happens. My, what do you call? My balls are not made of iron, or my bladder. And sometimes, you know, you gotta let it out. So I let it out. Psst. But even with that in mind, we are back to the stream. Trump is the establishment. He is a corporatist, a neoliberal shill for the already powerful. Obviously, this is a bold claim that some of you guys are going to disagree with, and that's okay. If you disagree, feel free to talk in the chat. Feel free to come on as a guest to the stream, and we'll have that conversation. We will have that debate. That's what it's all about. This is the marketplace of ideas, and my idea is very direct and simple. That Donald Trump is, in fact, part of the ever-hated establishment. He is no working-class hero. He does not fight for the little guy. He's trying to screw the little guy. And you are the little guy. That's just like, he's not with you. That's my point. He's already abandoned MAGA. He's putting in the neocons. He's no America first kind of guy. He's Israel first. And we already saw how he governs. We can already see the decisions he's making for his cabinet picks. And it ain't looking good, folks. It ain't looking good. Donald Trump will be a joke of a president, but a dangerous one. Failed like his first term. And if you disagree with any of those ideas, feel free to come onto the stream and let's have a conversation. Donald Trump is the establishment. He's already betrayed the MAGA movement, the MAGA voters, the notion of America first. He's already betrayed it. He is, in fact, Israel first, the top 1% first. Anything you can put besides America, I can tell you that. Credentials. Credentials in what? Doing a TikTok stream? I didn't know I need a fucking license. Alright, somebody has asked to come on. Hello, what's on your mind?
He won the popular vote and the electoral college. So you're a minority, and your opinion doesn't matter.
Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, but she's bad. If Barack Obama won the popular vote in the electoral college, but Joe Biden did the same thing. Does that mean I'm telling you have to agree with them? No, of course not. You can disagree with people who win an election.
You had
luckily.
Democrats.
Wait. I think you're forgetting about. I think you're forgetting about the Donald Trump presidency. I think you're forgetting about the period of 2016 to 2020. If you think the Democrats have won.
You talking about when the Democrats put the COVID out to ruin
I'm talking about when Donald Trump won the presidency. You're a dumbass. You're not even saying shit. We're gonna put in a new person. Right. Hello. Oh, this person went away. Damn, man. Y'all be goofy. The person in the chat that was waiting to come on, I just put you in. Let me read YouTube chat. Oh, I have YouTube chat pulled up. That's actually mighty convenient. Hold on. Saitama from One Punch Man. What's on your mind, buddy? Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up?
Hey, not much. I was just wondering, what do you mean Trump is the establishment?
Yeah, I mean, he governs for the establishment. He has been part of their class. He's not fighting for anything for the working class. He's going to be a bad president. And we could get specific into the policies. I mean, what do you think was his biggest legislative accomplishment during his presidency? What do you remember?
Oh, no. I absolutely fucking agree with you. Holy shit, he does not care for the working class.
Okay. Well, thank you. Well, I guess we'll try to make this fast because there is somebody in guest request, but I'm glad to hear you agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a good day.
Thank you. Yep. All right, Zynga, we're going to put you in. Thank you for the follow, Saitama. Zynga, what's on your mind?
Does my profile picture look tasty to you?
It's a cat. Republicans, they're definitely not racist, folks. They tell you that all the time. Kelton, what's on your mind?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
I'm good, brother. What about you? How are you? What's on your mind?
I'm
Wait,
good.
real quick, in YouTube chat, let me just respond to some of them. Mariella says hello. Tomek says statue. Alan says, WTF is this? It's some TikTok debates. Feel free to check the link in bio if you want to debate. All right. Kelton, what's on your mind?
So you were a Kamala Harris supporter?
I voted for Kamala Harris. I mean, she was just the better of the two options.
Do you think she ran a good campaign?
I would have ran it differently. Better than Hillary's, though, I would say.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I voted for Trump. Why? So, I mean, were you doing these debates prior to the election?
Here and there. Mainly towards the end.
Mainly towards the end.
Yeah.
So is every day this is what you're going to do is come up with the Trump banner and just let Trump...
Well, I'm curious, do you
like
you disagree or not?
No, I don't think he's the establishment. Absolutely not.
And
I mean,
where am I wrong? Or what? I
have to have
mean,
your
defend
toe
the
in there.
idea.
You have to have your toe in there if you're in the political circles that he's in, but he's definitely not an establishment guy.
What was his biggest legislative accomplishment?
The tax plan they put forth.
Yeah, where 83% went to the top 1%, you know? Not exactly a working class victory.
Well, he also gave middle class tax cuts too, correct?
Yeah. Very little.
So don't.
And on top of that, there was a sunset clause. There was a sunset clause. Of course, if there's going to be a tax cut, they're not just going to exclude the poorer classes. But if the tax plan heavily favors the ultra wealthy, when they really didn't need an extra tax cut, well, I wonder why that's the case. 83%, and all the middle class tax cuts had a sunset clause, and the lowest class in the bracket, the lowest bracket, only got like an extra $70. It really isn't that impactful to regular people, but it made a decent. It was pretty good. A great time to be a rich person in America, to be part of that establishment. I mean, he has the richest guy in the world simping for him, glazing him constantly. He was already saying when he was already saying, yes, of course. I think we should get the big money out of the politics. Elon Musk has not been literally in Donald Trump's house for like the last 2 weeks. That's what I'm saying. He literally can't get rid of him, even if he wanted to get rid of him. Well, he's in a non-existing department yet. It'll come up. We'll see. He's not officially part of the cabinet. We'll see. Right? But, I remember when Republicans gave a damn about George Soros and were real concerned about the potential influence he might have with his billions of dollars. But when Elon Musk was at a Mar-a-Lago event and the speaker was saying, where's the right-wing George Soros? And then he raised his hand. I mean, sounds like corruption to me. I think we should get the big money out of politics.
Well, you're not going to do that, so.
Not with that mindset. We didn't always have this. We didn't always have this money. I mean, you could debate my ideas instead of just saying you're part of the Democrat team. I can criticize the Democrats too. I think what Joe Biden did in Israel is fucking monstrous. Can you say what Donald Trump did in Yemen is monstrous?
So hold on. Y'all just burned through $1 billion.
Yeah. I can criticize the Democrats. They're very corrupt. There are the difference between the Democrats and the Republicans. There's actual different ideas within the policy, or excuse me, within the party. Meanwhile, Republicans are pretty aligned policy-wise. They differ on aesthetic.
I guess I can agree with that.
Yeah. So I think we should get the big money out. I think it's possible. We didn't always have this level of money into politics. It'll take time. It'll take effort. But every big and good change takes time and effort. So I would like to see Mark Cuban not be involved in the Democratic campaign. I would like to not see donors to a Democratic campaign saying we need to get rid of Lena Khan. But ultimately, I do got to give credit to the Democrats for putting someone like Lena Khan in charge of the FTC. And Republicans are going to remove her, obviously. Because the Republican Party, politicians, like monopoly. They don't have a problem with ridiculous acquisitions and that sort of consolidation of power. The Democrats, for all my criticism of them, and I have many, they were the party that had a National Labor Relations Board that was much more fair to labor organizers. So
So do you think that Kamala Harris would have been better for the situation we have going geopolitically in Russia and Ukraine?
yeah, I do.
What? You think Kamala Harris would have been better sitting down talking to Putin than Donald Trump?
Oh, she has the biggest army in the world behind her. I mean, I don't think is the implication that like she as a person is incapable of standing up to just talking to other powerful people. Here, let me say this about. I don't think it really is a sign of strength if like Donald Trump's first. I think the plan he proposed, or at least in the works, that's what people are reporting is being proposed, is to just give Russia the Ukrainian land, but that requires Ukraine to approve of that plan, and we will see if they do. But I think anybody, and I think anybody could easily say like, oh, what if we just stopped the fighting? But in Russia's case, they started the war. And in Ukraine's case, her administration, she's not in she's well. What they're doing is not letting Russia just get exactly what they want with the situation. And I mean, I think the biggest escalation was starting a war.
Hold on, have they escalated over the last?
I think the biggest escalation was invading a country. That's pretty bad. We shouldn't invade countries, right?
Have they escalated this past week?
There has been escalations throughout the entire conflict. Okay.
No, you
and wait. Here, let me give you an answer. Here, let me give you an answer. You don't think there's been escalations throughout the? Here, let me say this. Let me say this. You're lying to yourself, my friend. There have been red lines. They have escalated in the last week and a half. Like there's been escalation throughout the entire conflict. But does that mean that Russia's gonna do something drastic? Yeah, probably not. Russia, excuse me, absolutely not. Russia has had. Hold on. Russia has had red lines drawn in the sand throughout this entire conflict about what equipment you can send, what equipment you can't send. And they always threaten. Excuse me, let me speak. They always. Well, you just need to listen, because when you hear things, you gotta understand it. No, I'm.
Agree that there's escalation.
They're letting long-range missiles be used, as if Ukraine really needed permission. But you understand that Russia said that sending them M1 Abrams was going to. We might have to use nuclear war. Russia said sending F-16s. Oh, we might have to use nuclear war. They said any offense into Russia, period. We might have to do nuclear war. If we send them... it's literally how it went. Do you think Russia was like, yeah, no... Wait, do you think... Do you need me to pull... Wait. Hey, silly. You need me to pull the fucking quotes of Putin? Do you need me to pull the fucking quotes of Putin? Do you need me to get the quotes of Putin? Do you need me to get the quotes? Because you said it's not happening. No, let's focus on this. You said what I just described to you did not happen. Would you like me to literally get the quotes?
The way you're saying it. The way you're saying it.
Yeah. Okay. So what exactly in my sentence was wrong?
Talk with you, bro.
No, I mean you're making claims and you're refusing to defend it. That's the problem. So here, let's focus on one thing. I brought up every single. I brought up. Yeah, we never threatened nuclear power. Russia did. Russia did. Not we. Russia.
I said he.
Okay.
Stop talking.
Yeah. So here, let's pull out the quotes. Russian red lines, nuclear war. Yeah. You're getting really triggered. We could have. I've had many dialogues, and they've been really good.
How low level are you, bro? You can't even have dialogue back and forth.
You're getting mad, brother. You're getting mad, dog. You're getting mad.
not mad at all.
Here, the term red lines has been used in the Russia invasion of Ukraine multiple different times. They have a whole fucking article about every single red line. There was red lines at the beginning of the conflict. There was in February 2022, Vladimir Putin said that the red line, that we had crossed a red line already by February 2022.
And he threatened what?
Yeah,
He
let me.
said he threatened nuclear war each time.
In June 2023, said in June 2023, Russia would be responding to breaches of the red line. Putin said, Putin has been consistent about the threat of nuclear action being used solely in the event of the crossing of the red line. And of course, in 2023, Russia had made 15 official red line statements compared to 24 in 2022. So we've crossed the red line each time. I think you're hyper fixating on like long range missiles being used. You understand that Ukraine is current. You understand. He's said multiple times that nuclear is being used.
Nuclear comments he's made. You agree?
Yeah, no, he's used nuclear comments each fucking time.
You don't agree
Okay,
that these
so
comments are the most serious he's made.
no,
Do you
I think
hear what he said
I think it's a
about who
I-
the missiles are coming from?
it's a
That's what
bluff.
he will be. It's a bluff, bro. Are you dumb as fuck? Are you a warmonger?
I think countries that are defending themselves have the right to defend themselves. I think we should stop supplying weapons to countries attacking other countries. Like we should stop supplying offensive weapons to Israel. And when Donald Trump was given the opportunity to stop supplying weapons,
Sitting
it was,
up to Ukraine then.
I think when Donald again the difference is Ukraine's defending itself. So when Israel it's a pretty simple line. It's a pretty simple line. There's a big difference between attacking another country and defending yourself. I think we can stop sending weapons to countries attacking other countries on the offensive. Israel, for example, and when Donald Trump was given a chance
Look at you.
to stop sending weapons to the Saudi-led genocide in Yemen, the worst humanitarian crisis in the world at that point in time, what did he do when the bill came to his desk?
Owned you, man.
What did he do, though?
Look at you.
You don't have the answer. Do you know what was going on in Yemen under Trump? No, you
Tell
don't.
me, man.
You don't. So when Donald Trump was given a bipartisan bill by a Democrat and a Republican, it was Bernie Sanders and conservative
I love that
Mike
word,
Lee.
bipartisan.
Yes, of course.
I love you.
Yeah. So, it just was bipartisan.
Border bill.
Yeah, I'm talking about a bill stopping weapons being sent to Saudi Arabia, right?
Right. Well, we were talking
And
about
I'm curious.
dividend
Well, no. You called me a warmonger, so I'm making it clear that I believe we should be supporting countries that are defending themselves. And you can't criticize Donald Trump for supporting countries that were attacking other countries, from Saudi Arabia to Israel. You can't criticize him. Why can't you criticize some guy on your own team? I can criticize Joe Biden for what he did in Israel, but I can agree on a case-by-case basis that... Excuse me?
Joe Biden hasn't done anything. He's a head of lettuce. You
Yeah,
probably voted for him,
the head of lettuce supported Israel's genocide in Yemen. So, in Gaza. So I really don't approve of that. Yeah, I did vote for Biden because if you're literally proposing a worse candidate than Biden, then that's on you. All right. So again, I can criticize Biden even if I supported him. I can say that, yeah, I support countries defending themselves, like Ukraine, and I don't support us supplying countries committing a genocide like what's going on in Gaza. I can say I don't support countries attacking other countries like what Donald Trump did with Saudi Arabia. Can you say that Donald Trump is a warmonger for supporting the Saudis' genocide in Yemen?
No, Donald Trump wants peace.
So he didn't support the genocide in Yemen? He didn't veto a bill that would stop the sale of weapons to Saudi Arabia?
The fact is...
Did he support the bill? Did he support the bill? Did he support the bill?
You know all the facts.
Did he support the bill, though?
Like you know.
Did he support the bill? I'm asking you a direct question. It was to stop the sale of weapons to Saudi Arabia. It was written by Bernie Sanders and Republican Mike Lee. It was simply to stop the sale of weapons.
What else was in the bill?
I don't know every single fucking detail of the bill. Do you know the detail of the bill?
You don't know.
Yeah, wait. I didn't read every single word of the bill. Wait. Tell me what's in the bill that I'm missing. Tell me what's in the bill. Wait. Tell me what was in the bill. Tell me what was in the bill. Since you know, apparently. You want me to look up the bill and we can read it together so you can learn?
Look, you can't even let me...
Okay. Wait. So Donald Trump vetoed the bill that would stop the sale of weapons to Saudi Arabia. You support the sale of weapons to Saudi Arabia. You support Donald Trump, who increased 435. He increased the support of drone strikes he increased drone strikes 435%. He supported the sale of weapons to Saudi Arabia while they were committing a genocide. You support those things, and you want to call me a warmonger. You can't ever criticize your side. Tell me a criticism you have of Donald Trump.
I'm gonna let you talk, man. Keep talking.
Okay, you don't have a criticism for Donald Trump because you're a partisan hack.
Look at your lip.
You don't understand politics. You're a team player, and some people are team players. You don't even have your camera on. What are you talking about?
Your lip quivering.
What are you talking about? Make a point. Why do you support the sale of weapons to Saudi Arabia? You're not going to talk anymore. You closed your shell. You're done.
No, I'm waiting for you to shut the fuck.
Folks, if you actually want to debate instead of crying on stream, feel free to come on. Let me read YouTube chat for now. This guy has systemically simulated dopamine receptors. Alright, hold on. Somebody wanted to join. Let me put that in. Yo, what's on your mind, buddy?
So who are you voting for?
The election already happened.
Yeah, but who did you vote for?
I voted for Kamala.
Kamala? Alright, so, can you tell me why, though?
Yeah, I like the policy to build 3 million new homes. I think increasing housing supply is one of the most important parts to actually lowering the cost of housing. I like that the National Labor Relations Board made it easier to form and join unions. Do you support unions? Do you know what a union is?
Yeah, I know what a union is. It's a bunch of, countries or states into one country.
That's not what a union is.
No, I'm not. It's kind of like a union.
No, that's not what a union is. I think you might be a kid. I don't know if we can have kids on the TikTok stream, so I'm gonna let you go for now, buddy.
I'm 18, you fucking nigga.
Alright, buddy.
Yeah, pussy.
Jake says, talk to me. Jake, in order to come onto the stream, you need to go to the TikTok link in the bio, in the description of this YouTube stream, and then you can come on. Jake, feel free to come onto the stream. No matter what was promised by either candidate, how many times have we seen thousands of those promises? How many times have we actually seen those promises made? Well, I didn't have much expectations for Biden, but I will say I was impressed by his National Labor Relations Board. You get what I'm saying? Juvenchi. I'm not Indian. You're being racist towards the wrong group. Let's see here. 51 intel agents gave him his talking points. That would be nice if I had fucking systematic support. I don't got that. Folks, if you got a disagreement, feel free to hit the request button. And if you're in YouTube chat, feel free to click the link in the description of this video, and you can come onto the TikTok stream, because we're doing call-ins on TikTok. Jake says you can contact me on this. Brother, you are one chatter in a sea of chatters. I have 2 chats I'm paying attention to. Stag, pathetic, crying on here about Trump when your party imploded because they did DEI candidate. Okay, yeah, you're a very serious person. No one marries into Trump's family without daddy's approval. I don't know anything about Donald Trump's family personally. I'd rather him having money now than becoming president to make money. I mean, he made a lot more money because of his presidency. Jared Kushner made $2 billion from Saudi Arabia, his son-in-law. Juvenchi says, how is Trump establishment when he's not in office yet? Do you think establishment means you hold a position of power? Do you not think, the ultra-wealthy people that are campaign donors are part of the establishment? The consultant class of people that say, actually we have to move more right on economics. We actually should do more austerity. That they're not part of the establishment? They're part of the establishment. And Donald Trump was president, and we saw how he governed. Tax cuts for the rich, more war, nothing for the working class, corporate lobbyists in his Secretary of Labor or the Labor Department, and in his National Labor Relations Board. Juvenchi says Biden is still in control of the White House. Ultimately, anything that's happening is from your party. Again, I'm talking about Trump's existing record, and I'm talking about what he's promising. Who's in his cabinet? Zachary Moore says, trickle down. Yeah, Donald Trump believes in trickle down. Failed economic theory. Jake says, you just talk fast and over people. Are you Destiny? You see him getting owned all the time. I'm not really a big Destiny fan, personally. How does that affect America if he's not in office yet? His cabinet picks. How does that affect America? He's going to be president in a few months. The cabinet picks are going to run the administrative state from within when he's president. Of course, he's not signing bills yet. But if he's going to put neocon Marco Rubio in charge of the Secretary of as Secretary of State, I mean, that's going to have significant effect. What are you talking about? How does that affect America? Everything you're saying is assumptions. I mean, he did nominate people that he's going to make his cabinet. What are you talking about? If he's fascist, then why didn't he do anything when he had the opportunity? Because we have checks and balances. He was trying to say that the election was rigged and it was stolen from him. So, folks, if you disagree, feel free to come onto the stream, hit that request button. Trump is the establishment, and if you're defending Donald Trump, you're defending the establishment. 623 Lee says, loudmouth Trump won't even let anyone say anything, then claims that nobody can debate. I have the guest request open. Head to the TikTok and I will put you in to have that debate. Jubenchi says, how mad at you that Trump won? I love that that's like Republican politics in the modern day. It's only about making other people mad. Now, I am upset about people that might get their unions broken up. I'm upset that the tariffs might make things more expensive for people. That's very upsetting things. But ultimately, I'm personally excited more to be fighting with Democrats to move the party more towards a working class direction and kick out the Clintonites, the establishment Democrats there. Jake says you can add me on YouTube. No, I literally this footage here is from the TikTok stream. I cannot put you onto like YouTube. I don't even know if YouTube has guest request. Oh, the link doesn't work. Hold up, let me check it out. It should work. 1 second, let me make sure. Actually, I wonder if... Hold on. TheNathanGalang Live. That's the TikTok. I'll go put it in chat, maybe? Hold on. Let's see if I can pin it. I think I can. Pin a message. There you go. This link is how you get onto the stream. Phil Wright says, stop shouting. I mean, you don't run this stream, Phil. Bak Gui says, it's cute Americans LARPing as patriots when the government is going to do whatever they want. Nobody is going to do anything. I mean, what are you calling for? Like fucking violent revolution? I am not calling for that. I can tell you that. Hold on. Let me make this window smaller for a moment. If tariffs will raise cost of items in America, why hasn't it done so in countries like China? China, I don't know every single tariff China has, but what they don't have is an across-the-board tariff. I'm not principally against tariffs. I'm fine with tariffs if it's targeted and specific and strategic. If you do a tariff on a specific product to make sure it doesn't flood the market, that's perfectly fine. But across-the-board tariffs, 20% on all goods from friendly countries, 60% from China, would lead to, is like an economic, to emphasize how dramatic of an effect it would be. It's an economic genocide of the American worker. Tariffs are just a negotiating tactic. I mean, I would if the implication is that it's temporary. I mean, that would be interesting to see. But tariffs historically are hard to get rid of. 1 and 2. Donald Trump has talked about tariffs replacing potentially the revenue from income tax. So I don't know if you're serious about that. It won't let me, man. Jake says the TikTok link is right there. It's working. If you want to come onto the stream, and you can. Phil Wright says, Kamala lost, get over it. Phil, you're a grown-ass man. And your politics is going to a YouTube chat and being like, Kamala lost, Kamala lost. Give me a fucking policy to talk to or talk about. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me pull out the multi-guest to make sure I'm continuing to see it in case anybody comes on. All right. I have too much windows open, man. Hold on. Get Republicans cried about Biden for 4 years. That's true. Mobile users cannot click links in chat. Okay, if you can't click links in chat, go to TheNathanGalang live on TikTok, on your TikTok account. TheNathanGalang, same username as my YouTube channel, and make sure to put live, because I have a second account for streaming. Let's see here. That's a push to get made in America. Why outsource to other countries when you can produce here? Joe Biden made 800,000 manufacturing jobs. There's ways to increase manufacturing in America, which I'm very passionate about, frankly. It's one of my biggest issues, is increasing manufacturing in America. And Democrats, whether you like them or not, put aside your feelings about them, about the individuals. What we saw in the last 4 years was historic high investments into construction and manufacturing, and an 800,000 job increase in manufacturing. We're not a developing country. We don't need help from other countries. I don't understand exactly what you mean there, Ryan. I'm not saying that we need a policy of getting help from other countries. Jake says, do it on YouTube as well. Jake, I don't think you can bring guest request for YouTube. Phil says, how about peace instead of war in Ukraine and Gaza? Donald Trump took $100 million from Sheldon Adelson's widow, who wants the West Bank taken. Donald Trump says Biden was holding Israel back. Come on. Donald Trump doesn't give a fuck about peace. You're silly. Alright, let's check TikTok chat. Sorry, TikTok chat. I'm looking at YouTube chat. Democrats about to increase manufacturing on gas masks and MREs starting World War III. Alright, Jay DeLaRusso is trying to come in. What's up, Jay? What's on your mind? Hello? What's on your mind, buddy?
Why do you think that Trump is the establishment?
We can look at his policy record and we can look at his proposals. I mean, his policy record. What was his biggest? What was his biggest achievement legislatively in his first term?
I want to focus on define establishment for me.
It's think like Hillary Clinton, think George W. Bush. It's the people in power and they want politicians that benefit them. That's the biggest thing.
Okay, so you define Trump as a politician when most of his natural life he's been outside of the political sphere?
It's not a politician equals establishment. It's about benefiting the powerful, right? Okay, so when he did the tax cuts for the rich, 83% went to the top 1%. That's a pretty established move, and that was the biggest legislative thing that he did.
Let's talk about that. So you said 83% went to the top 1%, right? I can agree with that.
Yes.
But just because something benefits a specific group more, does that mean that it doesn't benefit another group at all?
No. I mean, there were the lowest tax bracket got $70 extra. Ultimately, I think that's not that consequential to him. And ultimately, any middle class tax cut had a sunset clause. Meanwhile, the tax cuts for the rich were permanent unless there was another tax bill changing them. And I think that says a lot about the priorities of that tax plan, right? And as a result of his tax plan, he decreased revenue, cut revenue significantly, while he increased spending in other fields.
Evidence for him decreasing revenue and.
I mean, he cut revenue and he increased spending, and as a result, the deficit went up.
Okay, so yes, the deficit did go up, but I want to go back real quick to the tax policy. So in the lower tax bracket, it actually went up 8.5%, and yes, in the top 1%, it did go up more than the bottom 1%. But when you look at the tax policy that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden executed, it actually wasn't a significant change for the lower income, for the lowest tax bracket. And on top of that, if you look at every single metric when it comes to the economy, directly after they implemented the Inflation Reduction Act, everything went up. The Budget Committee, when they were discussing...
Yeah, I mean, do you think it was an American move that made the inflation go up? Or do you think that the whole world had global inflation?
The economy after COVID was better than he left it before COVID. Then, as soon as the Inflation Reduction Act, there's a direct...
Yeah, no, I don't think the economy was better than when he left it after, or when he left it. We were still dealing with the recovery, and we did have a recovery under Biden. I'm not saying Biden deserves all the credit for the recovery, but I will say there were many financial... real quick. There was many financial people saying that we needed to go into a recession. We needed people to lose jobs. We needed wages to go down in order to make a bounce back. That didn't happen under Biden. We didn't have like massive job loss under Biden. The unemployment continued to go down, and we saw 800,000 new manufacturing jobs. We saw historic high investments. We saw bills being passed like the CHIPS Act. That was historic public investments into manufacturing, which also led to historic private investments into manufacturing. Does that mean Biden did enough? No. I would have rather he did Build Back Better rather than the IRA, but the IRA was done because conservative Democrats and the entire Republican Party blocked Build Back Better from happening, and that's unfortunate, right? But when it comes to just the economics under Biden compared to Donald Trump, I was happy that there was a National Labor Relations Board that made it not necessarily easier, but fairer for people to join unions, form unions, and for unions to fight for their workers. You know, he did not fill it with corporate lobbyists, and as a result, you had things like the UAW, who had a massive win for workers when they striked, and the deal was much better than what they had previously.
So then let me ask you this: if it was so great for the unions, why did almost every single union unanimously endorse Trump?
They didn't.
They didn't? Okay, name me.
Are you referring to the Teamsters that like had like division within?
The Teamsters for the first time in over 60 years didn't endorse a political candidate.
Yeah.
And you can.
But what did the UAW do though?
Okay, they endorsed Kamala, but
what did the AFL-CIO?
What about the border?
About the teachers' unions? Yeah.
The border?
Well, talking about the border is a different discussion than talking about just broader unions. You said all unions endorsed or did not endorse Democrats or endorse Donald Trump, when that's not true. Democrats literally paraded union support at the DNC. Every single Kamala rally, every single Tim Walz rally, they had unions coming out to support them. Multiple statewide chapters of the Teamsters endorsed Kamala Harris when the broader national organization stayed out of the race.
I want to ask you something, just so that I can understand that we're having this conversation in good faith. Do you believe that right now the current state of the nation is better than it was from 2016 to 2020?
Well, at 2020 there was a pandemic and people were losing people. People were losing. Well, we can't really ignore like that last year or two of Donald Trump. I mean, he didn't handle it well. I know, but there was massive economic problems. That's like Herbert Hoover being like, well, the whole world is dealing with a global depression, so you can't really blame me. Of course, Herbert Hoover's going to get the blame for the depression, or going to get some shit for it, right? And we did go a completely different direction from Hoover, and we saw recovery from the depression, right? With Donald Trump, we saw austerity in his first few years, like we saw in the Roaring 20s. The private market did well. Ultimately, there were a lot of underlying issues that were unchanged or made worse that, by the way, continued under Biden. He didn't fundamentally transform the economy like I would like him to do, right? But Donald Trump inherited a decently performing private economy, a decently performing stock market, a decently performing job growth, right? And then, of course, when there's not a good safety net, when there is a disaster like a pandemic, like a recession, the American middle class and the working class, they feel it a hell of a lot more than if there was a better social safety net.
Okay, so you think that the middle class didn't benefit at all under Trump?
Not in the grand scheme of things, no. Okay. Unemployment was down just like there was unemployment going down under Obama. The stock market was up, and I mean 50% of profits in the stock market go to the top 1%. But ultimately, 60% of people still live paycheck to paycheck. He was able to get millions of people off their health insurance. He was trying to get more people off their health insurance by completely getting rid of the Affordable Health Care Act. He was only not able to do that because John McCain voted no, essentially. And he still doesn't really have a replacement because at the core, the Republican position on health care would just be leave it to the market. It's not a very popular position, and that would kick tens of millions, I think 30 or 40 million people off their health care that they got provided to them by the Affordable Health Care Act. And the Medicaid expansion that comes with it, right? So, yeah, working class people, poor people, even the middle class did not have a good deal under Trump, and they won't have a good deal under Trump now.
Okay, so then...
That's not to say Biden was perfect, by the way. He wasn't.
No. So I just... Because I just want to understand this logic here. So the economy was not better under Trump, yet he won the popular vote and the majority in... The Republicans won the House, the Senate... Let me finish this point. So the vast majority of Americans are wrong in this aspect to determine that they believe that Donald Trump was a better leader and president than the current administration. That is
Yeah,
essentially what
I
I'm
can
saying.
disagree. I can disagree with
With
you
the
know,
vast
with
majority of Americans.
he's at 50% of the popular vote.
It's a gap of 5 million. He swept all the swing
The
states.
the gap now currently. I understand that you probably saw the previous numbers and they're still counting some even to this day, but it's
Which is
98%
suspicious
in.
nonetheless, but okay.
No, it's not really suspicious, but
How
it's
is that not suspicious?
98% in. We don't need to get into the whole election denial debate. That's a completely different debate. But the point
Okay,
is,
I
there
mean,
was
Hillary
76.
Clinton denied-
There was
Hillary
70.
Clinton
Yeah,
still
yeah.
cost
Again, we don't need to be bogged down in that. Hillary Clinton conceded the next day, but there was 76 million people that came out for Trump. A good number. I'm not putting that down, but there were 74 million people that came out for Kamala Harris, 50 to 48. It was not like this massive. It was not a massive landslide as he's saying. He won in the Electoral College. He won that. But when you look deep into, when you don't even look deep, but you just when you wait, when you look at the, again, this isn't saying Kamala ran a perfect campaign, but this is just saying like this is not like a massive mandate unless the 2020 election was a massive mandate saying that like, oh, Biden's amazing and Trump is evil and so on and so forth. No, people just came out for Biden more. He got 51% of the popular vote to Trump's 46%. And Trump this time got 50%. Kamala got 48%. You look at the swing states like Wisconsin, it was 49.64 to 48.78. These were a lot of really close races. I'm not saying that, oh, there was election fraud. Kamala lost fair and square. But the notion that, like, oh, yeah, people had like when they went to the voting booth, they thought about every single one of Donald Trump's economic policies and every single one of Kamala Harris's economic policies, and they were like, yeah, that guy's better. I think what more likely was people don't feel secure in this economy. And I'm not blaming them. There's still very big existing problems. Again, to be fair to Biden, he didn't get to push the bill that he actually wanted to do. He did a lot of good things. I can give him credit for things. I didn't expect to give him credit for much, but I give him credit.
What did he do? 11 million immigrants have come through the border. Crime is at
No. There's 11 million. There's 11 million. First of all, let's stay on the facts. There's 11 million illegal immigrants total, not 11 million new illegal immigrants. Okay, total for like all the decades that America has had. That's what it built up to, right?
No.
When it comes to inflation, hold on. There's a cup on your screen. I don't know if that means you're out. Hello? 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 Are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So just responding to those points you made, inflation is down and wages have surpassed inflation, but that doesn't mean what Joe Biden did is enough. When you're dealing with a crisis like what we had to deal with after COVID, you need to not just do decent, you need to be great. And Joe Biden was not great enough. He was not a Franklin Roosevelt. He was a moderate Democrat of the neoliberal era. Now, I give credit for historic high public and private manufacturing investments. I give credit for reversing the trend that was happening under Trump where manufacturing jobs were going down and 800,000 new manufacturing jobs were made. And as a result of those investments, if they were to stay and are unaffected by the Trump administration's economics, which they probably won't, they probably will be affected by it, but more jobs will be created because of that. They're literally building the new factories now. The CHIPS Act, building chips in America, that's good. A National Labor Relations Board that is fair to unions is good. And was it the FTC? Yeah, the FTC had Lena Khan who was trying to stop monopolies. So I can give credit. I would give credit to Donald Trump if he kept some of the promises that were actually good he made in 2016. Specifically, when he said he was going to fix the infrastructure, when he said that he was going to stop the bad trade deals, when he said that he said that no one was going to die of lack of health insurance if he was president. All those things that sounded vaguely populist and at times outflanked Hillary from the left. The thing is, he was president, and we know what he did. He got rid of the TPP when it came to his desk. Good, credit there. But then he replaced NAFTA with the USMCA, which is essentially NAFTA with provisions from the TPP. And he's doing the bad trade deals he railed against. When he talked about bringing the jobs back, there was continued job growth from the Obama era in manufacturing, but at like 2019, before COVID really sunk everything, it had already stagnated and slightly declined. Is that fully his fault? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I don't think he created an industry that incentivized enough manufacturing here, but nonetheless, it stagnated. Like, those things matter to me, and he did not bring the jobs back. He did not get rid of bad trade deals. He did not do an infrastructure program. He had infrastructure weak. He did not fundamentally rock the boat in a way that would help people. But the big policy things he did was doing the tax bill, 83% went to top 1%, the deficit and debt increased tremendously. He did like a trade war, but ultimately it ended up with the trade deficit increasing. Our trade deficit got bigger under Donald Trump. He was just an ineffective president, and anything I could give him credit for, he failed. Other than that, I mean, he increased drone strikes 435%. He gave Israel everything they wanted. Gave Saudi Arabia everything they wanted. Go on. So
he is the only president in the last 40 years to not see a major conflict start under his presidency. That's one thing. The other thing is the economy was growing at a rate of around 1%, and I don't have all the statistics in front of me right now, but I'm just paraphrasing here. It was growing around between 1 to 2% under Obama. When he got in, it went up to 4%. Then we're talking about the prices.
Like, you're talking GDP growth?
No, I'm talking about wages and job growth.
Because wages were still stagnant under Donald Trump.
Yes, but at the same time, the prices of goods and gas prices, electricity prices actually went down under his presidency. Gas was down almost.
I mean, inflation that would imply there was deflation, and there wasn't.
Okay, well let me finish my point. I'll let you talk for a while. So there are multiple things that we can credit to him. Also, funding the HBCUs for over 10 years, freeing over 20,000 nonviolent felons.
Wait. What? How much did you say he put into HBCUs?
I said he funded HBCUs for decades.
Yeah, but how much did he put in?
Does that matter? He funded them.
Because I mean, every president. Every president puts money into HBCUs.
Yeah, but he had a specific funding mechanism that gave them more funding than they were doing previously.
I don't know what this funding mechanism is, but I do recall like seeing.
He also released a lot of nonviolent offenders that were unjustly put into jail.
I mean, Obama released some nonviolent offenders as well, and he got shit for it. So I mean, but I can give credit for him.
I didn't give shit to Obama for that. I thought he was good. I am a Democrat that now supported Donald Trump for various reasons outside of the economy. For example, would you say that Trump is a fascist or anything like that?
In the ballpark.
Okay, so let me describe to
not quite the mustache man, right?
Can I describe to you what I believe a fascist party or regime is, and then can you tell me if you agree with these categorizations?
Okay, sure.
Okay, so I believe that a fascist regime prosecutes and pursues their political opponents using lawfare tactics. I believe that a fascist regime reaches out to the mass media and influences narratives and uses censorship. I also believe that a fascist regime tries to kick out competition from being able to compete with them in a just electoral system. Those are three components. I'm blanking on the fourth one, but I had
no
one
problem.
And and a fascist regime, I also believe, has a cult-like following to the point where if you disagree with them, they label you as all these other things that are, bad labels, for example, just to defame you and so that you can lose credibility. Do you disagree with any of those characterizations?
I don't necessarily think that's the technical definition of fascism. Because if we get into each one, we could pretty much call like almost everybody a fascist in a way. I mean, Donald Trump, he didn't free Julian Assange, he didn't free Edward Snowden.
You're pivoting.
No. I mean, you said like prosecuting your opponents and stuff. I mean, he continued that prosecution of the opponents.
You're not answering my question.
Hold on. Let's go point by point. I mean, let's go point by point by. Let's go point by point of your list. Let's go. What's number one?
Okay. Prosecuting political opponents.
Okay, Edward Snowden, Julian Assange.
He didn't put.
He
wasn't the one that kicked out.
He had the ability to pardon them, and he refused.
He could have. Yes, that's fair. But he wasn't the one that put them over there. He was trying to fix the country. So
Yeah.
okay, so
So I mean, it wouldn't have taken him much time to do a pardon.
when I say prosecuting political opponents, I'm talking about actively using lawfare to impede.
Sure. I mean, there's multiple states like Florida, I think, or maybe some other red states that have pushed laws that have made being critical of Israel or Zionism as like a legally defined anti-Semitism and getting in trouble.
But that's not.
I mean that was happening by Republican governments. It's not like Biden runs like the state legislatures of a random red state, right? But that's literally political persecution.
I'm trying to define what a fascist regime looks like.
Well, your first thing was political persecution. I mean, that stuff is political persecution.
Political persecution. That's my first thing, right? The
Yeah.
Democrats tried to get Robert Kennedy by suing him off of every single ballot. They did the same thing to Jill Stein, and I forget the name of the congressman, but they even had a congressman arrested. Every single one of Trump's cases at this point are going to get thrown out.
A congressman elected? Wait. What congressman elected?
A congressman arrested.
Because I know there was a senator from New Jersey. I know he had like gold bars from a foreign country, and I think he was getting in legal trouble. There was that one gentleman from Texas that was also pretty corrupt that had some ethics problems.
He just got out recently, but outside of him, specifically during election season, they sued Jill Stein to get her off of a bunch of ballots. They sued Robert Kennedy to try to get him off of a bunch of ballots and use lawfare against him. And then they also go ahead and they continue to use these lawfare tactics to pursue their biggest political opponent, Donald Trump. All of these cases that were put against him.
May I respond to some of these?
After he announced his presidency in 2022.
Yeah, they should have worked further. I think it is. He has a lot of things building up legally for all these different years, and he did get in trouble for fraud. I mean, again, hold on. Let me just respond to some of those points, right? So with the Jill Stein stuff, I think let Jill Stein, let the Greens, or let RFK in as many ballots as they wanted. Ultimately, RFK would have been in more Democratic ballots. I think some Democratic parties, state Democratic parties, just didn't have primaries, like Florida didn't, and I think that's problematic, sure, right? I think suing Jill Stein or like doing like campaign little tricks in the court is kind of shitty. But ultimately, that stuff is not like illegal. It's like I think a lot of it was just questioning some of their, like, they were getting into the nitty gritty. Both me and you don't know each document, each case. But for example, I think the case that I can think of is in Nevada. She put her team signed her up as not as a candidate, but as like a ballot question. So I think they had brought it to like the attention of the courts, and they were like, she signed up as a ballot question, and then they were like, oh, that's not going to work. The point is, as going specifically for Donald Trump, if he committed fraud, Donald Trump shouldn't commit fraud. Then he would never have to go to court.
What did he commit? All the loans were paid.
Business fraud. He lied on his records about the size of Mar-a-Lago to either lower his taxes, but then he would increase it. He would increase it to make more money. The point is, listen, he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine legally. He's gonna be fine legally. Well, he was found guilty in a court of his peers.
Okay,
so the jury of his peers, excuse me. So I mean, if he could make a good case, I mean that could have been delegated a few months ago. Maybe he should have had you as his lawyer, right? But I don't think anybody, if they're like a politician, is suddenly
for pointing that out. So two things.
I don't think
he did
it's
not commit fraud because all of the loans were paid back. Fraud is when you don't pay somebody back. Secondly, Hillary Clinton also misappropriated campaign funds, and no charges were brought against her.
Feel free to throw any criminal shit Hillary Clinton did. Feel free to lock her up. I think any politician can be in trouble. And if Donald Trump had to be put in front of a jury of his peers and they found him guilty, well, that's how our legal system works. That's not lawfare.
Obama should be in jail too for bombing kids in the Middle East.
Yeah. I mean, Donald Trump. Well, I agree.
People are war criminals. We can agree on that.
100%. And Donald Trump is one too.
But when it comes to he's definitely not a war criminal. But when it comes to
whoa, that's a little too funny there.
That he's
Do you
not a
say
war criminal?
you think he's not a war criminal? And what was your problem with what Obama did? Like you said, a specific thing that Obama did that makes him a war criminal.
Let's go back to the point that I said earlier. Donald Trump is the only president in the last 40 years to not see a major conflict during his presidency. During Trump's presidency,
He oversaw conflicts. I will. That's not true. That is very much not true.
A major conflict that broke out.
Afghanistan was still happening. I love that. Like it has to be narrowed down. Like what war did he specifically start? During his presidency, there was multiple wars still occurring in Iraq and Afghanistan, the war against ISIS. There was a war in Yemen that he was supporting. He increased drone strikes 435%. He bombed Syria. He bombed Somalia. When he was given a chance to stop sending weapons to Saudi Arabia by Democrats and Republicans, Bernie Sanders and conservative Mike Lee sent a bill to stop the sale of weapons to Saudi Arabia. What did Donald Trump do to that bill?
So you're talking about wars that he inherited. Of course, those are...
And he supported. Increasing drone strikes 435% is a change in policy, which shows that he's perfectly fine with bombing kids. You said that Obama should be in jail for bombing kids. Donald Trump increased drone strikes 435%. He removed the checks and balances and transparency regulations on the drone strikes. We don't even know how many he did overall, but in the first 2 years of his administration, he used more drone strikes than Barack Obama did in 8. That does not justify what Obama did. But if you have that criticism of Obama, which I agree with you, I'm with you. Obama is a war criminal. He did kill civilians with those drones, but so did Donald Trump, and Donald Trump did worse in 2 years. And again, with Yemen,
I will give you that as a fair point.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
What I'm trying to say is, in his presidency, unlike the wars he inherited, a new war did not break out. Yes, he inherited these wars. And I will say this. He admitted this. He has admitted this in this campaign. He made a lot of mistakes. He went into this role not knowing what the hell he was doing. So
no. We can't infantilize him, bro.
In multiple interviews.
Yes, he can say that.
Let's not cut
He
me
can
off,
say
right?
that.
I let you speak when it's your turn. It's my turn. Okay, thank you. So
We've been going for a while, so let's kind of narrow it down a little bit, or let's kind of close up the argument.
Got it. So here's the last thing that I'll say regarding the war thing. I do want to get back to the fascist thing, but war is war, whatever. It's bad. I don't agree with any war. I think all wars should stop, and I don't agree with any war hawks. But if I'm going to choose somebody based on who has not actively started a war and actually sought diplomatic relations with our adversaries, I'm picking that person, because even JFK reached out to the person in charge of Russia, I'm forgetting his name, and had a hotline.
Khrushchev, I believe, at that point.
Yeah. So
yeah.
He spoke directly to the USSR. We are stronger when we are able to challenge our adversaries politically instead of using war, and when we are an economic influence and not a combat-based influence globally.
I agree. So I fully agree with you that I want to see less wars. I think that wars of defense are more morally justifiable, specifically like with Ukraine.
Okay, so then
but for example, with
permission to Zelensky to launch U.S. missiles, do you agree with that choice?
I don't really care specifically with that.
No, they just.
Yeah, I know about it, but
yeah, so
ultimately I understand. The thing is, Russia has said like literally everything is a red line, literally everything is an escalation for the last 2-3 years. They said that M1 Abrams was going to be a justification for use of nuclear weapons. They said that F-16s, they had like a long debate for years about whether or not they can send F-16s or not. I understand that there are red lines that Putin says he has, but each time it's been a bluff. Now Biden is gonna.
Is NATO bringing in Ukraine?
Biden is gonna.
If Russia just put missiles in Mexico, no.
Well, NATO wasn't in Ukraine.
When the Berlin Wall came down.
Wait, NATO wasn't in Ukraine.
NATO towards the east.
There was no agreement, a formal agreement.
Security conference, and to literally tell Zelensky, we want NATO to come and be a part of
Well,
Ukraine.
okay, two things.
Put him into power.
One, we didn't. We didn't put Zelensky into power. He did an election.
Put Zelensky into power? Oh,
yeah, he won an election.
Really believe in the government.
Who did he beat? Do you remember who he beat? No, do you remember who he beat?
It was a coup done by the U.S. so that we.
When was the Ukraine election, bro?
listen. I feel like you have
Brother, the guy that Zelensky, brother, the guy that Zelensky beat was the guy. Okay, so I'm assuming your claim is that the guy who came into power after Euromaidan, who I assume you believe is a coup, and you can have that position, it's fine. But that guy, who apparently was the guy that we did the coup with, had an election where, by the way, turnout was up, and his opposition was Zelensky. So Zelensky beat apparently the puppet that we put in through the coup that you claim it was.
I said Zelensky's the puppet.
So you said there was a coup. Are you talking about 2014 Euromaidan?
Yes, I'm talking about we put in Zelensky.
So wait,
Like we
wait, brother.
So that Zelensky would win.
Well, if that's the case, that's on Donald Trump because he won during Donald Trump's term. But again, when was this coup? You're saying the coup was in 2019, not when the Euromaidan happened and the pro-Russian president fled the country and Petro Poroshenko, who was the more like pro-Western guy, he came into power after the pro-Russian guy was kicked out? Was that because that's usually when I'm talking to people that claim there was a coup in Ukraine, that's usually what they're saying was the coup.
So when you have let's say that's the coup, for example.
Okay.
Fine. Then we put in somebody that's pro-US and has good relationships with our war with the people that
the guy he beat was pro-US. It was the same Petro Poroshenko that ran again in 2019 and got beat by this opposition leader, Vladimir Zelensky, comedian turned politician. He beat him fair and square.
I don't have my computer in front of me like you.
No problem. I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with that. I understand that.
But I'll say this just because I don't want to get pigeonholed into this.
Yeah. No problem.
Just to make my last point on why I switched voting from the Democrats to Trump. Outside of that, I do believe he did a better job on the economy. The persecution of the political opponents and the straight up censorship and control of the media narratives is just a little too much.
No, that's not true. That's not true, man.
They don't. So then Mark Zuckerberg coming out and saying that under the Biden-Harris administration he was mandated to.
He wasn't mandated. The campaign.
They pushed for him.
It was no. Yeah.
To censor
the Hunter Biden story
and the Hunter Biden story.
With Hunter Biden's dick
was big. So
it wasn't that big. I'm gonna be honest. It really just wasn't that big.
There was a poll asking voters, "Hey, if you knew about this, would you have voted differently?" And 4% of them said yes. That may not sound like a lot, but
that's one poll. There's been polls that showed that Hillary Clinton was destroying Donald Trump.
No, we're talking about the 2020 election.
I know, but there's been wrong polls. You know, yes, this one poll.
Like every poll this election,
I don't know that. Well, it was close though. It was literally statistically close. When you, he won. Again, look at Wisconsin. How much did he win Wisconsin by?
They censor conservatives all the time.
That's not true.
That's not true.
How's Ben Shapiro? How's Dave Rubin? How's Tim Pool? Tim Pool and Dave Rubin. Tim Pool and Dave Rubin. They don't have to worry about YouTube monetization, man. They literally got money from Russia. That's not a conspiracy. There was
Candace Owens can't even say anything on YouTube without getting demonetized.
Yeah, Candace Owens be saying some weird shit about Jews and not even like critical of Israel, but she be on some weird shit. But I don't I don't know.
Have you ever listened to any of the episodes at length?
I've heard Candace Owens over the years. I'm not a fan of what she has to say. I remember back in the day when Joe Rogan was a bit more objective when he was talking about climate change with Candace Owens.
He's not objective because he's supposed
to. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the thing, Joe Rogan's changed his policy positions. All I can say is not consistent. There's consistent people out there. Okay. Again, the top political people on YouTube, on Facebook, are a bunch of conservative hacks. The top political people on Spotify, the top podcasts, are a bunch of conservative-leaning podcasts. Joe Rogan said all these wrong things about Donald Trump, that he did this and this, that, and this. And suddenly he changed his position. Because his social circle is a bunch of conservative rich assholes. Hold up, what's going on YouTube? Ooh, hold on, who followed? Thank you, Nemizer, for the follow. Very appreciated. Silver D says, now with Elon, what will you say? Not a fan of Elon. Can't stand people who jump around and talk like this. I'm on YouTube, on camera, I'm speaking. Oh, and make 0 sense? I mean, feel free to come on to the stream. Click that link that I put into the pinned chat, or search up that name, TheNathanGalang Live, to come on as a guest. Maybe we'll bring in one more person before the stream ends. With Elon, what will you say? Sounds so intelligent. Autocorrect for real. This adds an anime pillow. Cut the crap off your list. Uh-oh. What is this? I don't know what that was. TikTok Live Studio was acting up a little bit there. But I fixed it. We can negotiate. They do us a favor when we make a deal. I don't even know what that person's talking to. Hold on. Let me just stay at the lower part of the chat because it's moving. You're going to have to deal with him when Elon helps the average American. If you think Elon, fucking oligarch, is going to help the average American, you're silly. Your attitude shows you do this on purpose. Bro is just CNN headline reader. KRAR, saying negative things and lying perpetually are two different things. Remember, these are the same people that put a yellow filter over Joe Rogan. What's a yellow filter? I don't even know some of these terms y'all use. Folks, if you got a disagreement, feel free to come on. Donald Trump is the establishment. I'll be honest, the last guy was a bit more polite than some of the other guys, but he didn't really make the best points. And he got frustrated at the end, and he got mad at being corrected, you know. This guy gets banged by his own couch. What the fuck? Damn. You don't remember them trying to make Joe look sick. You're a joke. Why do we think celebrities are not regular people? I mean, they're not. I'm gonna be honest. Those celebrities live in a world of their own. They make money that you wish you had. That disconnect from just waking up at 6 a.m. and going to work, it literally changes your brain. Genuinely. It genuinely changes your brain. Just saying he is the establishment doesn't make him an establishment. His biggest achievement was a tax cut for the rich. He gave Israel everything they wanted. He gave Saudi Arabia everything they wanted. He gave the billionaire class everything they wanted. He put his donors in charge of the Department of Education. What are you talking about? I'm giving all these arguments. It's not just saying he's the establishment. There's many reasons. And I haven't really heard a response to the reasons. Well, actually, no, he's not establishment for these reasons A, B, and C. Give me the reasons. Give me the reasons. I'd love to hear them. Bill, I don't really know anything about women, but only women use tampons. So true. Kill B is spamming a little bit, but much appreciated. Love the engagement. Can you please tell me who brought a bunch of celebrities to shake their ass at a presidential rally? I mean, Donald Trump had a celebrity rip his clothes off at the RNC. So listen, I mean, the Democrats and Republicans all love celebrities. Let's not pretend like y'all don't absolutely love when celebrities endorse your political opponent. Come on. Yeah, you do understand economics. Rich people pay most taxes. Fuck the ones who gave the businesses that empty people. What? Rich people should pay more in taxes, actually. Who brought the celebrities to the presidential rally to shake their booty? Who brought the celebrities to the RNC to rip their clothes off? Who brought Kid Rock around them all the time? Elon Musk is a celebrity. He hasn't left Mar-a-Lago in like the last 2 weeks, to the annoyance of probably Donald Trump and his staff. You look like a cheap fake Destiny. Maybe watch some Destiny clips. I'm not a Destiny fan, I'll be honest. Folks, if you disagree with this prompt, feel free to come on, hit that request button, and let's have a conversation. I missed some messages. I think celebrities are just like us, just out of touch. I mean, yes, celebrities bleed and they breathe air. But yes, they are very out of touch. I agree with you. Lowell says, this guy's ethnicity is unknown. I see some people talking about race here. I'm Filipino. And Hispanic, you know? Actually, part indigenous, folks. So actually, I'm more American than most people. Folks, if you disagree with this prompt, feel free to talk. Robbie says, okay, why are you even talking about our country? Like you shouldn't even have an opinion. Foreigner! I don't know if you can tell by my voice. I don't think I sound European. I don't think I sound like I'm from Mexico. I don't think I sound like I'm from India, China, Japan, Russia, whatever. You tell me where you think I'm from. First Night says, I love Elon's Long John. So true. True. Trump had Kid Rock, Hulk Hogan, Ted Nugent, Kanye, and a few others. Exactly, Joe Blow. Donald Trump had a bunch of celebrities lining up. He had Little Pump, like it's 2018. Game Hunter says, it sounds like you were not born here. I have no idea how you can tell that. Or, like, what is making you assume that? You hear, like, an American accent, and you're just like, oh, that's a foreigner. Come on. Are you making $1 billion? No. Yeah, no, I'm not making $1 billion. I'm not part of the top 1%. You know, most people are making, like, under 50,000, like half the American working population. Sounds American to me, maybe Canadian. Yeah, I'm an American. I would never be a Canadian. I'm not playing riddles with you, I'm asking. Game Hunter, if you think I sound like a fucking foreigner, you're actually, I'm sorry to say, you're a fucking racist. That's gonna trigger a lot of you conservatives calling somebody racist, but... Kami Dad says, electoral politics are WWE for adults, and I love a good show. Mike Hall says, how do you feel about the Biden administration's authorization of U.S. missiles into Russia? Yeah, they gave longer range missiles. It's another quote-unquote red line that Russia said we can't cross, that we did cross, that they're going to do nothing about, just like with the M1 Abrams, just like with the F-16s. And they were debating F-16s for years, whether or not we're going to be allowed to send them or they're going to start nuclear war, but it was a bluff. So it's really not going to result in anything, besides, I don't know, Ukrainians hitting some ammo depots or something like that. I would like to see more peace in the world. Maybe we should stop selling weapons to Israel and to Saudi Arabia. That would be wonderful. But defensive wars, I think, are completely justifiable. Hold on. Let me check YouTube chat. Again, I don't know how y'all keep doing the racism towards the wrong direction. Nathan is a 7-Eleven work-e, you spelled worker wrong, work-e Punjab. Kazi, the Cane Corso, I'm not Punjabi. Earlier, I was strolling through shorts, came across a black lady saying very racist stuff to white people, blaming them for Trump being elected, and the U.S. going to this shit. She was getting cooked by the comments. I can't speak for her. Hold up. That's your taxpayer money being used for the personnel and for the equipment. My call, I think we're in agreement that we should actually lower the military budget. You agree with that? Okay, let's go down here. Conservatives thinks non-white people aren't American. It's such a freaking No, it is! I feel like, for me personally, I'm not that, like, ethnic looking. I don't know what other way to say it. I'm just clearly not white. And it's interesting, when I'm doing these live streams, the conservatives, there are certain conservatives you could tell just have a problem when you're just not white. Let's see here. Yeah, the guy who the Secret Service tried to unalive is the establishment. Wow, genius. Yeah, the Secret Service definitely did that. You're not like a conspiracy brain fucking moron. If NATO had kept the agreements not to expand eastward, war with Russia never would have started. Yeah, we expanded into Georgia too, right? That's why they invaded Georgia. And, brother, Ukraine was not in NATO when Russia did the invasion. Tuck says, are you Hindu, bro? I'm not Hindu. You look like you're Wong. Guys, he wasn't born in America, but he's talking about being an American. Game Hunter 88. I don't know what to tell you, brother. All I can say is that says more about you. NATO wanted the borders to include Ukraine since the 70s. Even if Ukraine joined NATO, that doesn't justify a fucking war. That doesn't justify an invasion. Unless you want to argue it justifies an invasion. It doesn't. Game Hunter says, see, he won't say it, lol. Say what? Guys, he wasn't born in America, but he's talking about it. If he's talking about it, see, he won't say it. Silver D5 says, love Filipino pork. Yeah, they do great pork. Yeah, Russia's just crying for no reason. Yeah. Yes, but the U.S. is pushing NATO. Oh, I already read that. Yeah, I mean, if they want to join NATO, then they should have the right to join whatever international organization they want. If the United States declared war on Brazil for joining BRICS, that would be a ridiculous thing. How can he be establishment when the establishment spent the last 5 years smearing him and trying to throw him in prison? Well, first of all, he should just not commit crimes. He was in front of a jury of his peers and they voted him guilty for shit. Second of all, he gave the establishment, the powerful, tax cuts. 83% of his tax plan went to the top 1%. His new tax plan, only the top 5% would actually get the taxes cut. The bottom 95% of Americans would have a tax hike. And we should be able to get out of NATO and not be a part of it if that's what we want. Elizabeth, yeah. If there was like a proper vote and it got us out of NATO, sure, we don't have to be in NATO. Of course, people can criticize it, right? People can disagree. People can have that debate. Oh, let's see here. Tuck says, I think Trump is good for America. I work at Trade Tax Cuts is Love. Yeah, I mean, 83% went to the top 1%. I don't think the average trade worker is really benefiting much on his tax plan, especially the new tax plan where only 95% are getting a tax increase. Trump is the greatest president in U.S. history, according to Wolf 2020. I disagree with that. There's provisions in the tax code that can be used to avoid paying taxes, and it's allowed. Yeah, we should patch those loopholes, 100%. We should. He was the first person ever to be charged with a felony. It was an expired misdemeanor. He says he above a law is saying he's only above the law is bullshit. He's the only person that is not above the law. Yeah, Clinton, or that's her name, Clinton. Everybody that commits a crime should be able to be prosecuted. No exception for the president. That's propaganda. Have you been to his official site and read the Agenda 47? Brother Tuck, I mean, feel free to come out and have a conversation, but you're telling me that analysis of his tax plan, which found that 95% of people would have their taxes raised, while 5% get their taxes cut, particularly the 1%, you get a bigger tax cut. Analyzing the plan is propaganda. I have to read directly from his own website, his own campaign website, which is to make sure that he becomes president. That's a little silly. Hold on, might check YouTube chat. You do not understand. He can never run for president, but he's talking about it. Game Hunter! I was born in America, brother. I don't know what to tell you. I love conservatives. I'm being told all the time, how dare you say racist? How dare you ever announce the word racist? It's so wrong for you to call conservatives racist. But then you say the most objectively racist shit. Nope, learn the American economic system. Thank you, Christopher. Folks, there's 200 people watching in YouTube chat. I recognize you. I see you. Feel free to come on to the TikTok live and let's have a debate. Let's have a conversation. You can click the link. I don't know if the link works, but you can see the username at TheNathanGalang live and we can have that debate. And for those coming on to the TikTok stream, anybody new or anybody that's been here, if you disagree with this prompt that Donald Trump is, in fact, the establishment, feel free to come onto this stream and we can have a conversation. Game Hunter says, anyone, anytime. Is that like challenging to a debate? I mean, click the link, buddy. Hillary Clinton could have changed the tax code to avoid tax breaks, but she didn't. Well, one, I don't think Hillary Clinton is omnipresent and can control everybody in Congress. It would be wonderful if she did. But Donald Trump did change the tax code when he was president, and he did 83% of those tax breaks went to the top 1%. 83%. He increased the deficit tremendously, which of course then results in increasing the debt because he cut revenues. Mike Hall says, you like Hillary Clinton? Absolutely not. Come on. MAGA, I got a question. Do Trump tariffs great jobs? Oh, I'm sure they think it does. It does not. That means consumers get better prices. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. I'm assuming there's a message that I missed from you, Happy Eagle. Blah blah blah. You spend $1, the creator of product gets a little bit. If people do that, they make a lot. Wow, deep. My dad instantly got 200% more of checks after the cuts, not the 1% by any means. I don't know what your dad's situation is. And yeah, I mean, the bottom bracket of the Trump 2017 tax cuts got like an extra $70. But you get an extra $70, and your daddy got an extra $200. Ultimately, at the end of the day, that extra $200 goes away pretty fast. It does not raise their wages. It does not deal with their if they're broke and struggling, and they were benefiting from some sort of social safety net program. A lot of social safety net programs got cut under Trump. So, yeah. Mike Hall says he was a great president previously. Even if you don't agree, you should use Google everything he did. Brother, he promised he would bring the jobs back, the manufacturing jobs back. He would stop outsourcing. He didn't. There was manufacturing decline under him. He promised he would do an infrastructure program. He didn't. He did Infrastructure Week, was just to celebrate infrastructure. He promised that he would get rid of the bad trade deals. He didn't. He did USMCA, which was just NAFTA, with provisions from the TPP. The good things that I want to give him credit for, I would love to give him credit for, but he didn't. He applied tariffs, which is the beginning of bringing the jobs back. His little trade war with China did not even benefit in those goals of bringing jobs back, of lowering the trade deficit. The trade deficit increased under Donald Trump. So by your own standards, by what you guys want to see, he failed. He did everything he said he would. He didn't. He said he would bring the jobs back. He didn't. He said nobody would die because of lack of health insurance in his America. 68,000 people die every single year because of lack of health insurance. He was trying to get rid of the Affordable Health Care Act, which would have kicked 30 million people off their health insurance. Zoop joined the live stream. Hello, Zoop. What's up, Zane? My boy. If that's the right person. Maybe there's another Zoop out there. Lupin the Third is also one of the viewers of the stream. Shout out to you, Lupin the Third. You should Google facts instead of opinionated responses other than the NAFTA thing. What do you mean? He promised he would get rid of NAFTA and the TPP. I'll give credit that he shot down the TPP, but if he renegotiates NAFTA, makes the USMCA, adds TPP provisions to NAFTA, that's not a win for me if I'm against the bad trade deals. He improved Obamacare. At this point, taking it away would be damaging. He didn't improve Obamacare. He got rid of people's insurance. People lost insurance. Not tens of millions. I think like 3 to 6 million. It's been a while since I've seen the number. 3 to 6 million people lost because of his healthcare reforms. And ultimately, he couldn't get rid of Obamacare completely because of one vote from John McCain. A tax tariff makes a foreign product more expensive and also makes products in America cheaper. It will absolutely not make products in America cheaper. I'm fine with tariffs if it's targeted and specific. Like, for example, Biden did a tariff on Chinese electric vehicles. I think that that's fine. Its purpose was to make sure that the market is not flooded by Chinese products, and I think that's a pretty reasonable goal. And the bosses liked it, and the workers liked it in manufacturing and car manufacturing, right? But when Donald Trump is talking specifically about across-the-board tariffs on everything coming into the United States, no economist supports that. That's going to raise prices $3,000 to $4,000 annually per person. That's what some analysis was saying, right? It's not even going to just raise prices for Americans. It's going to raise prices internationally. Socialistic and communist countries rely on government healthcare. It's been proven to be a big issue. I can assure you that these countries with universal healthcare do not collectively own the means of production. They are not socialist. They are fundamentally capitalist. The Scandinavian countries, France, the UK, Germany. Israel is not a socialist country. Let's check YouTube chat. Thank you for the likes, Zane. I saw Zoop left the likes. Game Hunter says he won't let me debate. He won't let me. Game Hunter, you have to come on to TikTok and send an invitation. I'm waiting for you, buddy. I would love to talk to you. You see this? It's a guest request. Game Hunter, I'm waiting. I'm waiting, Game Hunter. I'm waiting. Come on to the stream, buddy. Click the link. Go to my TikTok, join the stream, and click request. That's all you gotta do. Game Hunter. Oh, I'm on YouTube, not TikTok. That's why I put the TikTok link. I don't think I can bring people up for YouTube. Mike Hall says, how are these countries doing compared to us? Be real. Well, they don't have people dying of lack of health insurance, so that's good. It's a good thing. Game Hunter says, I'm on YouTube, not TikTok. I have to download it. Then download it. If you want to come on to debate. You said I'm not letting you debate. Here's the guest request. You can come on. Folks, in the TikTok chat, since there's 12 of you watching right now, if y'all have any disagreements with this prompt, let me know. Let's have a conversation. So hospitals turn you away with no insurance. I mean, you might go to the ER and you're going to have a massive bill. That's why we have so much medical debt in America. That's why medical bills are the biggest cost of bankruptcy in America. I'd love for Donald Trump to do something about it. Thank you, Jake, for your follow. But I would love for Donald Trump to do something. Donald Trump actually promised that nobody in his presidency would die because of lack of health insurance. Of course, he didn't do anything to make that happen. He, again, lied. He lied! Explain what you mean by establishment. I mean the people with power. Whether we're talking about the political donors, we're talking the Clintonites, we're talking the Bush types. You know what I'm saying? And Donald Trump is part of them. Donald Trump is absolutely part of him. His biggest legislative accomplishment was a tax cut for the rich. His biggest... He supported Israel, and he supported Saudi Arabia undyingly. He increased the military budget, even though we're already spending a ton of money, while cutting revenue through his tax cuts for the rich. So yes, I can say confidently that Donald Trump is part of the establishment. Didn't like a bunch of celebrities endorse Kamala, though, which is all of the rich. There was a guy, little-known guy, I don't know if you know him, Hulk Hogan at the RNC, that ripped his shirt off to support Donald Trump. The richest man in the world that you mentioned. Isn't all the richest people in the world, excluding Elon, Democrat? Absolutely not. Bryce, feel free to come onto the stream and let's have a conversation. But Jeffrey Bezos, Mr. Amazon, who owns the Washington Post, when his writers wanted to do journalism and endorsed a candidate that they supported, as newspapers tend to do, he personally intervened to prevent them from doing that. Because he benefits. Facebook. What has Facebook done that has helped the left or the liberals? Okay? They did data collection, which the left called them out. You know? Left called them out. AOC grilled Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, Bryce is coming on. Let's see here. Bryce, what's on your mind, buddy?
Okay, well, you're saying that Trump has all the richest people. Well, if you go into it, did you know the FBI is actually very Democrat? If you look at the Twitter files, if you look at Facebook, they're very much so Democrat. If you look at even Amazon, I mean, yes, you're right. He has made one statement that's actually leaning towards Republican ideologies.
Oh, he didn't make one statement. He prevented his journalists from doing journalism. He intervened as a billionaire owner of the company and was just like, you're not allowed to publish this, which is pretty unprecedented, right? That's actual censorship. No. It's not cherry picking. It's a major newspaper owned by a billionaire, and the billionaire said, I don't want you to do this. That's perfect representation of oligarchy. It's disgusting.
How many times have they done it in favor of the Democrats, though?
How many times have Jeff Bezos presented an endorsement in favor of the Democrats?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I understand, that, there's only a few... Wait a minute, hold on. No, okay. Zane, Zoop, was that you, bro? Or was that another Zoop? Sorry, your question.
Who's Zane?
No, I saw a friend of mine, I think, in the guest request. I was like, I'm gonna bring him on.
Bring him on.
No, he's not in the guest request anymore. I think it was an accident. But, yeah, I mean, there aren't much presidential elections. Happens every 4 years, you know. I can't think of an example of Jeff Bezos or another billionaire censoring newspapers from doing what they do and endorsing.
Maybe 20 celebrities at the top of my head that has publicly endorsed Kamala, and you can see.
Yeah, I can think of celebrities endorsing Donald Trump. Kamala.
You can't name. They're marginal.
Little Pump. who was like massive in 2018, particularly. You had Hulk Hogan, you had Dana White, you had Joe Rogan, you had a bunch of motherfuckers. So like, I don't know why we're doing this celebrity dick measuring contest. Each of the parties love the celebrities that endorse them. I'm not personally a big fan of either side. I'm not like oh my gosh, wow, Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris. I'm so surprised. I think it had marginal impact. Genuinely. I don't think celebrity endorsements are that big a deal, especially on the big elections.
I agree that it had a marginal impact because look at how badly Kamala lost.
I mean, she got 48% of the popular vote. Donald Trump got 50%. It's 2% difference. It's a smaller margin than in 2020. It's a smaller margin than Hillary's popular vote victory in 2016.
Okay,
but I wouldn't call. No. But my point is like you're like, bro, she lost so badly. Like it's I've been hearing this. It's a mandate of Trump's victory or whatever.
The popular vote doesn't mean.
I understand. I'm specifically saying that the narrative that like, oh, this was a massive mandate. Donald Trump is so popular when he lost by like, or he won. Excuse me. He won by a pretty small margin of victory compared to.
He did not. Trump won by a big
margin of victory. Really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yes,
what was so like he didn't? There was not like a 2% difference.
States. Do you know how many swing states he won?
Yeah. Again. I'm saying like you're talking like it's a mandate. Like, oh my God, he's so popular. When he got 2% for his margin of victory, credit to him, he won fair and square, right? But like, let's not pretend like, oh my God, the people are all with him. In Wisconsin, for example, if you want to look at the swing states, it's pretty similar to 2016, for example, where he won at 49.64% to Kamala Harris's 48.78%. It was not like a massive like, yes, we love all conservative ideas. Anyway, going back to sort of the establishment question of whether he's establishment or not. I mean, the richest guy in the world is like sucking up to him, constantly around him, right? There's many like Sheldon Adelson, right? When Sheldon Adelson gave him money and wanted Israel to be supported undyingly, what happened during Trump's first term?
With Israel?
Yeah. What happened with Israel?
With Israel?
Trump illegally gave him the Golan Heights, which is Syrian territory. Trump moved the embassy to Jerusalem. He kicked the Palestinians out of the conversation. He essentially just did he alienated the Palestinians from the entire situation and gave Israel anything they wanted at any point in time, right? Including taking foreign countries' land like they did in Syria, right? And this time around, Sheldon Adelson's widow, Mary Ann or something, his widow, gave $100 million to the Trump campaign, and she wants to see the West Bank become part of Israel.
Okay, wait.
So that's pretty concerning.
Let's talk about Ukraine and Russia right now.
Mm-hmm.
Are you in support of Biden?
I mean, Russian policy is also current. You're going to bring up the long-range missiles. I don't give a fuck, genuinely, because there's been a million red lines that Putin put into the sand that we've already crossed. He said nuclear war. We didn't. He's bluffing. Vladimir Putin, knows that Biden's going to be out soon. He's not going to suddenly throw a nuke at the U.S. or at Ukraine when his boy is going to go onto the presidency, right? So, again, I don't give a fuck about, oh my God, the red lines were crossed. I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
Okay. Let me make something more basic because I have a point to prove here. What is the president's job, like, of the United States? What is their job?
Is it? You can tell me. What do you define the president's job?
Right?
Okay, right? Yeah, that's one of the responsibilities.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you look at Russia, when you look at North Korea, you see their big leader, and you're like, oh, they're big and scary, right? They're not afraid. What do you see when you look at America?
I see the biggest military in the world with the biggest military budget.
Okay,
okay.
The leader of it.
Yeah, I don't know. You're gonna go criticize Biden as if I've never been critical of Biden's foreign policy. I think Biden. I don't give a fuck about how I don't. Trump? I think some geriatric motherfucker like Trump who will literally change tune the moment you're complimentary to him is a lot less scary than someone who was able to unify NATO around Ukraine. Going into Trump's foreign policy record here.
Prince when you're not even allowed to touch them.
Oh my God, he touched him! No way, that's crazy. You know what else he did? You know what else he did with Saudi Arabia? I'm gonna ask you, what did he do when he was given a bill by Bernie and by Republican Mike Lee to stop the sale of weapons to Saudi Arabia as they were committing a genocide in Yemen? What did Donald Trump do?
Veto it because he doesn't give a crap.
Okay, so he gave them what he wanted. So, oh my God, he touched her shoulder, but then he gives him what he wants. Jared Kushner, how much money did Jared Kushner take from Saudi Arabia?
Can you please let him in here, please? I want him on here. He's
Who?
a guy from YouTube.
Oh, Game Hunter 88. Well, we're gonna put him in after you are out, but again, you're saying, oh my God, he touched a Saudi. First of all, I think you can touch Saudi. I think you can touch Saudi. I think you can touch Saudi people.
Terrorist house.
Again, I don't know. You heard that from like some political commentator or some shit like that. I've heard that story before.
Trump himself.
Oh yeah. He what a great story. But again, that's not policy. That's not policy. That's not a policy decision. He gave Saudi Arabia everything they wanted. He gave Israel everything they wanted. Saudi Arabia spent hundreds of thousands of dollars funneling money through his hotels, funneling money through the Live Golf Tour on his courses. They gave $2 billion. They gave $2 billion. They gave $2 billion. They gave $2 billion. Again, you're pivoting. You're pivoting. Oh my God, really? That's crazy.
From their own citizens.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Anyway. Donald Trump directly took money from Saudi Arabia. You know, Jimmy Carter had to sell his peanut farm, right? So money wasn't being funneled to him.
You know, Trump's net worth went lower during presidency, so he obviously didn't make money directly off of anything.
I don't know Donald Trump's net worth off my top of my head. I guarantee you don't. But he made his family.
He left with a net worth. He's the only president in the United States that
what's his net worth? What's his net worth? What's his net worth?
I don't know right now, but I can tell you it's lower.
Okay, so Donald Trump's net worth.
Lower after
Donald Trump's net worth is $5 billion, right? So when Jared Kushner took $2 billion from Saudi Arabia, you don't think that's going to affect policy in any way?
It might affect policy, but not his net worth.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Well, do you think giving $2 billion to the president's son-in-law? Yeah, it's a bit of a problem.
Biden, then? You're talking about son-in-law. Let's talk about Hunter Biden.
If you want to talk about Hunter Biden being corrupt, sure. He should not have been on the board of Burisma. But I do think that there's a difference between being on a board of a company and directly taking money from Saudi Arabia. Yeah, I mean, you're running because you don't know what they're talking about. All right, Game Hunter from YouTube chat. Come on to the stream. Here, I sent you an invite. It's on you to join, my friend. Game Hunter, I sent you an invite. Hold on, I'll put that on the YouTube stream so at least y'all can see. Oh, y'all don't even see it. Oh, yeah, I'll see it right here. Game Hunter's right here, bro. Oh, shoot. Hold up. The stream on YouTube's fucked up. Y'all see this? Game Hunter. Right here. Hey, Game Hunter, brother. Come on the stream. I invited you 3 times, my friend. Game Hunter, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing, man? You're running. You're running when it's your time. It's your time, bro. Game Hunter. It's your time. I'm going to invite Bryce as we wait for Game Hunter to show up. And the moment Game Hunter shows up, I'll kick Bryce out. Because Bryce was kind of entertaining. Hello. While we're waiting for Game Hunter, I'll let you continue debating. I mean, so you really can't ever criticize Donald Trump, it seems, even if he supplies a genocide. I can comfortably criticize Joe Biden for supporting Israel's actions. I would hope that we can at least agree that Donald Trump supporting a genocide in Yemen is bad, right?
He doesn't support anyone dying right now. He wants.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we see in his governance, his policy making, his decisions.
Any new wars under
he supported a genocide in Yemen. He increased drone strikes 435%. He let Israel annex the Golan Heights, which is Syrian territory. He bombed Afghanistan. He bombed Iraq. He bombed Syria. He bombed Somalia, and so on and so forth.
During Biden and off.
Well, let's focus on a conflict because that's probably the easiest place to get data. You're saying how many American soldiers died in, say, Afghanistan, right?
Yeah. I think it was 12 or 13 or something. And
You're saying under Biden?
No, under Trump. Biden had
Yeah.
more.
Soldiers killed in action. So in Biden's 2021, that was his first year. That's also when he pulled out. 13 American soldiers had died. When Donald Trump became president in 2017, 15 soldiers died. 14 in 2018. 24, a bit of a peak, in 2019, and 11 in 2020. So each year that we were at that war, soldiers died, because that's what happens when you're at war.
Of course they died, but I'm telling you, more people died under Biden than did under Trump.
I literally just said how many people died under Biden. 13 versus 15, 14, 19, 24, and 11 each year of Trump. So that's just a lie. You can admit that, like, it's a fact that more people died in Afghanistan under Trump, right?
Sure.
Okay, good. We have an agreement. So yeah, Donald Trump is no peace guy either. Increased drone strikes for 135%. Removed. He increased drone strikes. He increased drone strikes for 135%. He immediately killed an American. He immediately killed an American civilian in his first drone strike. A little girl. What about Osama bin Laden, my friend?
Tell me.
What about Osama bin Laden? No, what are you asking about regarding Osama bin Laden?
I'm talking about all the terrorists that Trump didn't support, or...
You think Trump killed Osama bin Laden?
No, that was Obama, wasn't it?
Yes, of course. So, Osama bin Laden was killed in a raid. But, by the way, when Obama increased drone strikes, I criticized that too. It's not great. But for you to increase drone strikes 435%, for a guy that was known for increasing drone strikes, for you to drop more bombs, which increasingly killed civilians.
To stop more killing, by the way.
Which increasingly killed civilians.
By the way, they're killing their own people, their own women, their own children. Did you hear that they changed? They changed. We
bombed a lot of things. We didn't bomb just Afghanistan. I think you're trying to say, like, I'm defending the Taliban or something. I'm just pointing out the fact that he's not a peacemaker. He increased drone strikes 435%, just like Obama increased drone strikes. The difference is, we only know what he did in his first 2 years, because he removed a lot of the regulations regarding transparency and accountability, and we don't know what he was able to do in the 2 years prior.
Party that changed the FBI statistics for this for crime rates.
Yeah, and then you're going to a completely different issue. You can't recognize that your guy's a warmonger. You can't recognize that he supported a genocide in Yemen. So when you support a genocide in Yemen, I mean, what does that make you? Would that make you accomplice?
Genocide in Yemen.
When you give weapons.
What genocide is? How many few people are you talking about who are dead? Do you know what a genocide is? Do you know? How many
Okay, so you want to get like into a semantics debate? Supported a war that resulted in the worst humanitarian crisis at that point in time in the world. Provided the bombs, provided the weapons that bombed open air markets, mosques, weddings, funerals, and so on and so forth.
It's no different. It's the worst.
No, it is different. It is different because Ukraine got attacked, and Saudi was the big country doing the attacking.
Ukraine's on the offensive.
Have you seen the front line?
Yeah, I understand that Russia has taken part of Ukraine, but now Ukraine is fighting back.
Of course, they're fighting back.
They literally bombed an ammo depot plant inside of Russia.
Good.
What do you mean good? That's gonna start a war.
It's gonna start a war in a currently existing war.
Us. It's gonna involve us.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's literally our missiles we provided to Ukraine.
So Russia set a lot of red lines for fucking 2 or 3 years, as long as this is what's been going on.
Keep tipping him off. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it turns out a lot of these red lines are bluffs because. What do you mean that's what Ukraine did? Russia was already causing trouble in Ukraine before the invasion. You're fucking dumbass. You don't even understand this fucking conflict.
Of course I understand that. Yeah,
no, you don't. You don't. I'm sure you do.
I did a whole college frickin' essay and presentation on.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
I know all about it.
And for you to sound this fucking stupid is amazing. But
I'm not fucking
let's
stupid.
focus. Let's
You're the one
focus
that's
on
fucking
it. Let's
stupid
focus.
because you won't even
So
acknowledge the corruption.
yeah, so there was red
Ukrainian
lines.
government.
There was
Do you know
red
how
lines.
corrupt Ukraine
You
is?
know,
Do you know
there.
how corrupt-
You know, there's
do you know how corrupt Ukraine
corruption.
is?
You know that Donald Trump is palling around with the richest man in the world right now.
Okay, and half of your party is
And you don't-
is
and you
against
don't-
this list.
and you
What's your
don't-
point? What's your point?
Donald Trump defended Diddy on TV.
Uh-huh.
Donald
Yeah,
Trump-
but Donald Trump wasn't involved.
Donald
He's gonna
Trump
release
knew
the
Epstein.
He's gonna release the Epstein list. By the way, your
I would
party's
love to
scared.
see it. I
Your
would
party
love to
is
see
so
it.
Scared.
I would love to see it. We're in agreement. Because Donald Trump was best buddies with Epstein. In fact, there was the audio that
He
was
wasn't
released.
best buddies. He was business partners.
Yeah,
Oh
these
my
business
God.
partners.
Yes, they
He was
were.
business partners. Yeah.
Yeah, Democrats are terrified. They're scared. All of the.
Oh, I'm not scared. I want the whole list to be released.
I agree with you, and it is gonna be. Trump said that he's going to, and I
Yeah.
am so excited.
Why did he wish Ghislaine Maxwell well?
I don't even know who that is.
You're so informed, bro.
Well, you're telling me something that I don't know.
Come on, it's Jeffrey Epstein's right hand woman, bruh. That was her. That was his like his sidekick. She was directly responsible for so much of the trafficking. What are you saying, bro? Are you you literally just don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Okay, so if Donald Trump sees that a woman that's in legal trouble for trafficking kids, and then wishes her well, that's the only thing he could say. And then he defended himself saying that. He's like, oh, I wish you well. You wished a pedophile well in their court hearing or some shit.
Yeah, well, says the party in California that's making pedophilia legal.
I don't think that's the case, but again, you're doing. What
They
about this? What about
they
this?
changed the
Donald
discretion of
Trump.
the law.
Donald Trump.
Now,
Let's
you're
not.
within 10 years at the age of- I think it's the age of 15 or 16.
Donald
If
Trump,
you're within 10
again-
years, the judge can
again-
change the sentencing that is involved with you.
That's
So
cool.
you can be 20 years
I
old.
genuinely don't trust any fucking thing you're saying, so I'm just literally gonna
Look it
disregard
up.
that.
Look up
But
the California
again, you're
law.
running away from Donald Trump's connections with Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein's right hand
I
woman.
understand. Oh
He
my God,
literally
they
defended
worked
Diddy.
together. They were
No, it's
business
not
partners.
just them together. There's audio now released of Jeffrey Epstein talking about the ins and outs of the White House. It's pretty clear that he was in contact with Donald Trump as he was literally president. And by the way, I also don't believe that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. And who was president at the time?
Someone said
Donald
January
Trump.
6th. Yeah, well, what about the BLM riots? Okay, your party is far more.
The
worse than
the BLM protests were like 93% peaceful. Meanwhile, January 6th was
Oh,
trying to
I'm
yeah.
from Seattle. Do
Yeah.
you know how
Oh,
bad
you're
it
from
was?
Seattle?
Oh, it was terrible.
Well,
It was terrible.
again, I don't
Everything down the
don't
street
give a
absolutely
fuck.
demolished.
I don't
Yeah,
give a
you're not
fuck
part of
about
it.
your
Where do
anecdotes.
you
I
live?
really
Where do you
don't
live?
care.
Do you live anywhere? where
I don't
BLM
give
happened?
a fuck about anecdotes,
Did
bro.
you see targets being burned
Can
down?
you
Did see
define
targets?
do you know the definition of an anecdote?
Yeah.
Yeah, so do you recognize that you're doing an anecdote? Okay, well, you're doing an anecdote. When you talk policy, when you do debates, here's my advice to you: you talk statistics. Okay? And when
Democrats don't know how to talk in statistics.
you were the one arguing with an anecdote and denying a statistic because you didn't like it, it didn't fit your narrative, and you're humping the narrative. So. It doesn't seem like that Hunter fellow is coming on, right?
Probably.
Guess
But I will
his,
say, Brand, 10 million Dems. I don't know if that's true anymore. I think that was because.
yeah, I think that's
California
changed a
didn't
little
get
bit. Yeah, the Western
Yeah.
states counted their stuff more. It's a lot. It's a little less than 10 million, but it is
Tell me
still.
what it is.
Huh?
Can you
I
look
can
it up?
check.
Tell me what it is?
Yeah, I can
I'm
check.
very curious.
1 second. 2024 election. As
And
it
then
stands
look
right now, and there's 98.7% in. There was 76 million people for Trump, 74 million for Kamala, so it really narrowed down significantly.
Oh, it really was 80. Wasn't it 81 million?
It was 81. It was 81 for Biden, so it's a little
crazy.
less than 10 million people. So what, like 7 million
Can you tell
people
me-
difference?
Can I'm wondering where those votes, like where are they?
Yeah, they didn't come out. They weren't excited.
Do you really think that 10 million Democrats just decided?
It's number one
not
less
gonna
than
be
10.
Democrat
It's
anymore?
number one less than 10 million. And the thing is, there was a significant portion of the population that voted in 2020 that were likely not necessarily voting for Joe Biden, but voting against Donald Trump. Maybe they just thought he would be better, and maybe they were tired of the Donald Trump
Game
administration.
Hunter, you have to go to your settings and you have to enable live, and then if you do that, you can join it. I don't know what settings icon it is, but there's something in your profile you have to go to. Sorry, had to help him.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no problem. I don't know how that stuff works, but yeah. And 2020 was a particularly well, it's only 66% of people came out, but like we have a lot of citizens in general and voters in general, so that's pretty high turnout. It was higher turnout than 2016, and 2016 was higher turnout than 2010, or excuse me, 2012. Ultimately, turnout seemed to have gone down this time around, especially Donald Trump did not really expand his base too much. He's kind of in that same range. Meanwhile, what the hell? YouTube, what is this goofy crap? I got a suspension. Do I agree with the decision? No. The restriction, something else. My live does not contain the content mentioned. Yeah. Let's correct that. Can I put something else? No, I don't need to do that. Well, sent my appeal. Submit appeal. Misinformation. Appeal submitted. Okay. Don't they let me type with appeal? Well, I guess that's the end of that live. And folks, on YouTube, I have to piss. So I will see you guys later.